did you invest in Dubai? And he said, no. And I said, why? And he said, I don't trust Dubai market. What would we answer?
Okay, the first thing when a person says, I don't trust Dubai market, you have nothing to answer on it because you don't know what he's referring to. So the approach to handling these, there's two things I have to check first. Is it a genuine concern or is it just a brush off? People will sometimes use brush off answers. The brush offs are usually vague answers. Now is not a good time to invest. Based on what? So when you hear these kind of answers, I don't trust the Dubai market, it's a very vague answer. So the first thing I'll take the name of the client. This is the formula. Take the name of the client, use an empathy statement or what we call a neutralizer. Then you use a clarifier. Okay. So here's what I would do. I would say, Khaldun, it's trust in a market is important. That's your first entry. Okay. So Khaldun, it's important that you should trust the market. If I may ask, what exactly do you not trust about the Dubai market? Now the ball is in his court. After that, you keep quiet. What exactly do you not trust about the Dubai market? Let us see if what he can give you is tangible or is it a vague perception. This is the way to handle it. First, name and empathy. Khaldun, it is important that you should trust the market. Or Khaldun, it's important that markets must be reliable when you decide to invest. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly do you don't trust about the market? You remain in control because you're asking the questions. You use the name and the empathy. I'll come to you. And then wait to hear the answer. Because when he says, I don't trust, did his brother invest and lose before? Has he heard something from somebody? We have no idea what is in his mind. So you do not answer vague objections. You clarify. What exactly do you not trust about the Dubai market? Because we have numbers that we can use to show, right? Last year alone, 528 billion was invested through 123,000 millionaires. They've done all their research, they've done all their critiques, they've done all their negative evaluations, they've done all their risk analysis, and they've put $500 billion. In the last 2 months, 72 billion was put. These are people who have studied every possibility. They've heard the rumors, they've done the analysis, they've got past experiences, they know people who crashed and burned. They know all of that and they're still putting $500 billion in the market. So when you say that you don't trust the market, what exactly are you talking about? Right? That's very key. Because you cannot answer any vague objection. You don't even know if you're answering what's in his mind. So don't try it. What was your question?
One of the main objections is like right now the market is at peak and it will go down else in the future.
Okay, great question. Ask them straight away. Okay, very simple. Just say market is at an excellent place right now. We are growing incredibly fast. But when you say the market has hit its peak, how exactly did you decide that? The challenge that you got, by the way, a true friend will stab from front. That is me, okay? I'll not mince my words. I'll tell it to you the way it is. The challenge is not the clients. The challenge is you. You sit there in front of these guys, they'll throw anything in your face and you listen to it. You don't counter question. Who's the expert on the industry, them or you? What do you think? Us, right? We have to be the experts. So if some Mickey Mouse comes and sits in front of me today and he questions my industry where I'm an expert, I will counter question you. Because I will give you answers based on fact and I'll give you credible statistics and sources. Give me the same to support what you're saying. You may have 300 million in your bank account and I respect you for that. But I helped 400 millionaires last year invest their money in Dubai. Who's sitting and understanding the market better? I've been doing it from 2006. I'm sorry, I understand the market better than you. Don't tell him that last part, okay? But that's the whole attitude. I'll come to you. Question?
How do you address the fear of somebody who invested in the market before and he lost everything?
Okay, good question. Let me give you a very simple, stupid example first. Then we bring the same thinking into this. Okay, ever ordered a meal that you did not like? Yeah. Happened many times, once, twice, once? Many times. Okay, so once we ordered that meal, it was not what we expected. We got disappointed. We stopped ordering. Agreed? Yes, no? Yes. Well, why would you order again? You had a horrible experience. not the same place maybe, but I might try some other dish. So you understand the thinking here? Yeah? And usually, so I said it's a very stupid example, but the whole concept is, yes, you invested once, yes, you lost. It doesn't make the market bad. Maybe the choice of investment wasn't the best one. Maybe the timing of your investment was not good. So how do you handle this? Again, same approach. Name, empathy statement. Take the name of the client. Sorry, what's your name? Rabi. All right, I would say, Rabi, I'm sorry you had that experience. If you don't mind me asking, when exactly did you invest? Which year did you buy? Ask them the question. If anybody bought, there's two answers you'll get. They'll give you usually between 2015 and 2017. This is where they will put the answer. Or they will give you, they'll go back to 2007 and 2008. If it is 2007 and 8, that's a bullshit answer. They have not invested. It is just that fear historically which they brought. 15 to 17, they may have invested. Now, it's two ways. If you're talking, if the guy goes back and says 2008, people lost money, man, that is Jurassic Park. We're going back to the age of the dinosaurs. The whole world has moved forward 15 years. Can we move into the future now? Are you investing now in that market? No. Yes, in that market, a lot of people lost. Don't be afraid of accepting it. People lost because they were not buying correctly. They were doing the monkey see, monkey do. Everybody was throwing money at Dubai. They wanted to throw the money as well. Did you actually sit down and evaluate which project? Because even in 2006, 7 and 8, people made money. It had to, what was important is who was the developer, what was the project, which was the location or the community. They had a delay of a couple of years because the global recession hit everybody, and the global recession was not created by Dubai. But people who invested in the marina area, people who invested in the downtown area, people who invested in DIFC, people who invested on Palm Jumeirah, all made their money back. Because they went into high-performing areas, they went with developers that had strong legacy with them, and therefore they came back. They all lost between 2008 and 10. The whole world lost. It's like a corona example. Yeah, it hit everybody. So that is the reason why 2006 and 7 does not work. 15, 16, 17, yes, works. Last time did I draw the property cycle and show y'all? Oh, crap. All right, I'm not supposed to do that because it takes away time from the session. But people who bought in 16 and 17 were going to lose. They bought at the wrong time. How are we today if I take 15 minutes extra at the end? Those of you who got meetings, if you're going to close a deal, go and do it. But then let me just explain to you the property cycle. I'm going to draw it on the board. I want each of you to be able to take this in well. By the way, when you present this to a client, you look very smart. Okay, automatically. But secondly, it will create the impression that you really understand what is going on. Thirdly, you need to know this first for you to understand property cycles in Dubai. The current property cycle in Dubai is a 7-year cycle, which means it goes through a 3-year upward trend. It flattens for about a year, sometimes 18 months, and then it will drop by another 2.5 to 3 years. This is the current property cycle in Dubai, okay? A mature market will be a 10-year cycle. We are getting there. So let me explain to you the current property cycle, how to read it, and how to present this information to your clients, okay? How many types of buyers are there in the market? How many types of buyers? Okay, end user and investor. Okay, and who's the third? Money launderers. Okay, just a bit of advice here. Stop using the word end user. End user is a very offensive word to me as an investor. If I'm putting 4.5 million into my home, I'm not an end user. I am not a product coming out at the end of a factory production line. Call them homeowners. Homeowners has an emotional connect, it's more respectful and sounds more professional than end user. End user is an IT term. It's a technology related term. So we have investors and we have homeowners, no end users, okay? In the property cycle, everybody does not come and buy at the same point in time. But if I do not understand this, my mistake is I go to a lead and I present any opportunity without realizing which kind of investor he is. That's when people will tell you, it's too risky, prices have gone up, let me wait and see. You'll get all the excuses in town because you simply took the wrong product to the wrong type of buyer at that moment in time. You'll understand when I show it to you here, okay? One of the strongest questions you can ask your clients, especially when you're building rapport, is this question, okay? You might want to write it down. So here's how I do it. I take the name of the client. I'm very heavy into using names. I'm not into the Mr. and Sir, and that's all crap, okay? So let's say I have an investor, his name is Ahmed. So I'll say, Ahmed, from our experience, we have two kinds of investors in Dubai. We've got opportunity-based investors and we got security-based investors. Which type are you? I promise you, no matter how much they have invested, they will ask you, what do you mean? That will do two things for you. The first is, when people have got trust in you, they tend to ask you questions. They want to know the answer. So when they say, what do you mean? It means you just scored with that question. They wanted to know more. And it's a great question because it is not about selling, it is about understanding the person, right? Now, why is this question important? Then I'll answer the question for you on the graph. It's important because if I do not understand the investment appetite of my client, what am I going to pitch? Suddenly you will have something launching at the Cove. You may have a Canal Bay, Canal Heights launching, but you don't know the appetite of the person for risk. So when the appetite for risk is low, they are security-based investors. You never talk to them about a new launch. They'll have 100 questions for you. So for those kind of people who are security-based, low-risk appetite, you take them into communities like an Emaar beachfront or a Dubai Creek Harbor or a downtown area where you have both opportunities off plan, some still under construction, some close to handover, because they need to see before they are willing to consider. So you don't go take these guys and just announce suddenly a Safa 2 is launched. They have 200 questions about the project, okay? So the answer is this. I'll repeat the question again. I'll say, Ahmed, from our experience, we have two kinds of investors in Dubai. Opportunity-based investors and security-based investors. Which type are you? Let me answer this, then I'll come to your question, all right? So the client will tell you, what do you mean? Then you'll turn around and say, when you are answering, you have to first talk about the security-based, then you talk about the opportunity-based. Now this will again depend. If you're planning to introduce an off-plan, you will keep the opportunity-based towards as the second one. If you are planning to introduce something ready to move in, but with a post-handover payment plan, things like that, then you will put the off-plan first, because the last thing is what people remember. I want them to focus on the close to handover. So here's how I will answer it, okay? Normally, you would put the security first. So I'll say, we have two kinds of investors in Dubai. The security-based investors are those who prefer to buy something closer to completion because they don't want to take risk. They already understand, this is important, they already understand that they will be paying a higher price, they will get a more aggressive payment plan, and the returns will be affected. But they are okay with that because they wouldn't want the risk of delayed projects, not knowing if the project would be complete. Those are what we call the security investors. On the other hand, we have opportunity investors. They come very early into projects. They already know that there is an amount of risk involved, but they get the best prices, they get the best units, they get the softest payment plans, and they make the highest returns in the market. Which type are you? You can never lose with this question. Now, once you get the answer, if they tell you, well, I'm opportunity type, fantastic. I know this is the kind of guy to whom I can introduce new launches. If he says, well, no, I'm a security type of guy, don't announce a new launch to him. He is not going to make a decision. He's going to keep telling you, let me come back, I need to check on this. He'll raise 100 objections. Even if he does agree, it will be a push sale. You'll have to put a lot of effort into it, and maybe the guy will agree to 2 million when he could have put 6 million. So you work against yourself. You're not managing the inventory in the market based on the appetite of the buyer. So if he says he's security kind, then I can show him the other options. Okay? What was the question?
Why I should ask the client this question? For example, I have really very good product to invest directly. So why I will let him confused? Why I will not push for this product specific to say to him that?
Okay, so the question is, I have a very good product to sell. Why should I confuse the client by asking this question? Thank you very much. That was exactly what I was going to say. When you say you have a very good product, according to who? According to me. I believe it's an amazing opportunity. Yes, it is for a certain kind of buyer. Correct. But yes, I know. So for my experience, I also did the same thing with Damak. Well, how did we sell to people? We did not win our customers. We pushed it down their throat. But that kind of sales always loses long term. It will work for the risk guy, but not everybody is risk based. So the point I'm making here is, we don't sell what we believe is good. You sell what is good for your client. Your client has to become your ambassador. He has to buy again in the future. He has to be able to open networks to you. You have to have credibility in showing how many deals you're closing. You have to reduce your sales cycle, the amount of time you are taking to close deals. All of this happens when the right product is given to the right guy. Is a Lamborghini a great car? Okay, how many of you guys are planning to order lunch today? Talabat. Okay, few of you, right? I want you to sell the Lamborghini to him today, okay? When he brings your pizza for lunch. It's a great car. I absolutely believe it's a fantastic car. Go sell it to him. You don't sell something because you believe it is good. A product is good. Nobody is bringing out junk product in the market. But different investors have different appetites for markets. Now, either I sell where I push things into people and tell them, boss, you need to buy this. After that, 3 years later, when they're calling you because there are delays or something, you're avoiding calls. Or you find out what the person is really interested in, you will close your deals faster. I'll come to you also. It's good. We're having this debate. I like it.
When we tell the client, people who go for ready for like almost handover project, they are less risk takers than the people that they are investing for long term. So when we say the risk,
Don't use the word risk.
so what can you use?
Just simply say that people who security-based investors are looking for product which is close to completion and ready to give them the return. Opportunity, you can use the word risk because they take risk. The word risk is not liked by security buyers. That is the reason they are security buyers. The word security is opposite of risk, correct? So you don't want to take the word risk with them. But you take the word risk with opportunity buyers. They take risk. They understand high risk is high reward. Okay, so please understand this. It is not just about the opportunity. Suddenly a building is announced. You know, did you hear what happened with St. Regis? In 1 hour, you had 1 billion in off-plan sales. Do you think security guys came there? Homeowners? What came there was the aggressive front of end, grab it before it hits the market kind of guy. Those are the guys who put 1 billion in 1 hour. Now, if 1 billion is going in 1 hour because there are people ready to grab it and sign the check, do you want to sit with someone and explain to him and answer all his objections by the time the units are gone? So it is about positioning. We all have an approach to selling. Our approach has been built over our past, our experience. And we trust our experience, that's why we work on it. And we close deals. But are you effective in closing the deals is the real question. You close a whole lot more just when you understand the appetite of the person. Okay? Another mistake made like this is when a client sends you a lead. He puts his information because he saw maybe a Tilal Al-Gaf. You put something up there, say an Alaya for example, and the client has reached out to you, given you the details for Alaya. And what do we try and do? We try to close him on Alaya. Yes or no? Isn't that what you do? How do you know that he is not an Emirates Hills type of guy? 3 times the value of Alaya. That's what he saw. to discuss a proper investment. So they have taken the responsibility upon themselves. They make the decisions. So then they decide on what is important to them. However, if as a broker you can get your clients to think, they will buy from you. Even if somebody else comes. A unit that's going to be ready in 2 years and is priced at 2 million, and a unit that's going to be ready in 2 years and priced at 4 million are not the same. They're not the same. What you're telling me is he sees both of these, so he will go for 2 million. You can't do that. It's like you're saying there is a BMW at 450,000 and there is the Lamborghini at 1.4. The two are not the same. Yes, it happens because as brokers, we are not understanding who our client is and why he's looking at investing. If he's an investor, okay, what matters to him is not the price. Get this, it is the cost of the investment. The cost of the investment is how much they will pay or earn over the lifetime of the investment, the 5-10 years they are in it. So when you are talking comparison between two projects, bring it to a common factor, which is dollar to dollar. For every dollar that you put in the 2 million apartment, what will be your returns over the next 6 years? And for every dollar that you put into the 4 million apartment, what will be your returns every 6 years? Investors understand that logic. Now remember this, if a client tells you that I have only 2 million to invest, he's got 30 million in his bank. Nobody comes and puts their 100% cash. Okay, but they don't feel the need to tell you I got 30 million. They will tell you 2 million. My job is to show him $1 in this community generates a 6% ROI for you, but $1 in this community will give you an 8.5%. What matters to you? After that, they'll bring out the money. So when we qualify clients, we are going to look at this. Let me just ask her the question. I'll take a question. Let's get into this. Otherwise, Khaldun will throw me out from here because we haven't even started. Question.
Evaluate that if they are able to take the new projects or they can go with the longest payment plan. But basically, I think the risk, I had one client, which I understood, she was an investor and she's able to take risks. She's having a lot of money to buy. But her point of view was she wants to have a ready project. So I think the risk involvement is not the main thing. Like there is third type should be there as well, who are able to take risks, but they're not really caring about the best payment plan or best prices or high profit, because basically their interest is to get the highest ROI.
Agreed. Now, the highest ROI comes in which kind of project? Not just off-plan. Off-plan bought 2 years into launch is still off-plan. Early entry into any project gives you the highest possible ROI. Why? I will get it at the lowest price per square foot. The price per square foot will never be that low again. There itself is my first advantage. And that lowest price per square foot impacts my ROI for the next 20 years. The second thing is I get the longest or the softest payment plan. I'll get 4 years, 5 years, sometimes even 2 years post-handover, 7 years. And even if I sell it in 1 year or 2 years, I'll make anything between 55 to 70% return in a single year on the property. So if returns is important, the only property that makes sense is going to be an off-plan, as close to launch as possible. There's no other way. Okay. Now what you are saying is actually different. You said that this client can take risk, they don't have a problem, but they want something ready. Say, perfect, that's okay. But your job is to qualify that. If I don't ask this question, I don't know if they are this type of person. Let me ask and say, well, I like risk, but I want to go for this. Sure, no problem. You have done your job. But if I don't ask this, I will not know whether they will take risk or not. This is how you will qualify. First, remember, this is not even a qualifying question. It's a casual chat question when you start your warm-up and your rapport building. But the most important thing that happens from this is they begin to trust you and like you a lot more. Because no brokers are really sitting and asking them this question. Did I give you that example about Allegiance last time? Yeah, the 8.4 million? Yeah. We started the conversation with this question. Exactly this question. And the client said, how do you mean? When we started explaining, he started to find out more. He said, tell me 2-3 opportunities like this. We started to evaluate. From a 200,000 leasing, he went to 8.4 million in Damac Lagoons. Because we changed the way we entered the conversation. The moment you change your entry into the conversation, they already see you as different. How much real estate was registered yesterday in Dubai? I heard someone in the morning looking at it here. How much was registered yesterday?
2.73 billion.
No.
Mortgage and sale.
Okay, mortgage and sale together, good. What was the cash to mortgage ratio yesterday? Cash was?
1.7 I checked.
Yeah. So what was the ratio? 42% was mortgage. Cash was 58. Mortgages did really well in the registrations yesterday. Guys, all of you should know these numbers. I actually told the managers you have to ask your team every single day. This is the play where you will be seen as being someone in the market who's an expert. I was on a plane yesterday. I met someone in the business class lounge. I have a meeting with him tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Because we talk numbers about the market. And he had all the same objections. Wallah, the market has gone crazy. It's too much. It's overheating. We cannot control this market anymore. All of that was his objections. We just talked about it. Just simple questions. Interesting. Where did you get that from? Look, it is important. You want to be in a market that is regulated. I completely agree with you. You need a market that is regulated. When you say the market is out of control, how did you decide that? No answers. After you speak like this with them for 5 minutes, they start listening to you. You have to change your approach. If your approach is the same like any other broker, you will only do what any other broker. What is the average sale per broker in the Dubai market annually? How much does a broker sell on an average every year? What's the average price of a unit that is sold in Dubai this year? Guys, you're selling real estate? Huh? 3.29 million this year. Okay, where are we right now in terms of the luxury homes standing in the global market? You know, luxury homes has become a big thing in Dubai today. Yes? So how many, what was the percentage of increase in luxury home sales above $10 million last year in Dubai? It is all over social media. It's in all the national newspapers. No excuse for not knowing this. We had a 219% increase in just 1 year in high value home sales. Now tomorrow if you want to go to a client and he tells you, why are these so expensive? Why are these villas costing so much? That's when you ask him, how familiar are you with the current trend for the millionaires of the world to want to buy premium residential real estate in Dubai? The H&P study, the Millionaire Migration Index, told us last year that the highest number of millionaires who migrated was to the UAE last year. They're not choosing Singapore, they're not choosing the US, they're not choosing UK anymore. They're choosing Dubai. And because they're the millionaires, they want the best homes. So they're all looking for 30 million and above as homes. 219% was the increase. Today, Dubai is number 4 in the world for premium residential properties. New York is number 1. They did 245 homes last year, above $10 million. The second is Vegas with 223. The third is London with 221. And the fourth is Dubai at 219. We're just 2 homes behind London on luxury residential real estate. These are not people who are buying to rent it. They are moving into the UAE. Now, if you look at all these countries, London is a 2,000-year-old city. They've had 2,000 years to become who they are today. 480 years with New York, 440 years with Los Angeles. Dubai, 30 years. In 30 years, we have now caught up with a city that's 8,000 years old. If you know your numbers, you know how to bring the comparisons, and then you talk, people will listen to you. Don't get me wrong, you will close deals, but you're missing a lot more opportunities compared to what you're closing right now. This is what we are after. We just don't want you to close deals. We want you to close big value deals, long-term relationships that will convert a lot more in for you. That's what you should be looking at. Absolutely last question. Nobody else raise your hands now, okay, because I'm not going to be answering.
Those numbers that we have spoken about already, what is the best way for us as brokers to change our strategy? For example, now if we see that the mortgage is going higher, that means the client, they are
As a homeowner. But did you say that they will take mortgages now for higher priced homes? Was that what you mentioned?
This is what I noticed from numbers.
From?
From the numbers.
No, not at all. In fact, it's the other way around. People are not taking mortgages now because the cost of borrowing has become very high. That's the first reason. That is the reason why you'll see now the ratio in the market is 2 off-plan to 1 secondary. At the end of 2021, it was 2 secondary to 1 off-plan. We have turned it around in just 1 year, because to get the mortgage, it means people are focusing heavily on the ready to move in market or close to completion. That's the only thing that can get mortgage. That's not what the numbers are telling us. Today, off-plan is ruling.
But here, as I can see, like almost, like for example, the numbers of yesterday, we did almost 1 billion for 159.
Yes, 986 million was mortgage.
Almost 1 billion for 159 transactions. On the other hand, for the direct transactions, we have 1 billion point 3 for
575.
So that means that the price is higher.
No, just be careful about that. The first thing is, when you buy off-plan, you always pay lower for the same unit. Okay, when I have a launch, which is happening at 2.2, close to completion, it will be almost 4 million. So don't do that comparison, okay? Just because I bought now, I know that the value is going to be different. The guy who's buying a ready unit today and paying 6 million, the person who bought it bought it at 4.2. So
Still the difference is higher than
no, the difference is not higher. What you're looking at is, you're looking at the value add on top of the property price. You're looking at the appreciation, which I'm also paying for now. I'm not paying for the property value. I'm paying for the property value plus the appreciation that has happened over the 2 years. Now, another point, but it's a good question. Yesterday's numbers, don't just look at yesterday. Any day. That is not the actual transactions or sales for the day. It is over 3-4 months, 3-4 weeks, okay?
But even I look like month to date in comparison for February. I look at total February and I saw like in 9 days we did almost more than half of what we did in that means it's a strong month.
Be careful, we had 27 plots, commercial plots that were all bought on mortgage. Some of them 1.65 billion each. Plots get mortgage. So when you go to the REST app, don't just see the number. Just go below that, the transactions are there. We had a 2.7 billion plot on Palm Jumeirah that was sold, and a 1.6 billion on the same day on Palm Deira. These will become hotels in the future. These are not units that are being sold, but these are commercial plots, and because land is a ready tangible asset, I get a mortgage. So I have to look at, that's why the land department allows you to see units, buildings, land. When it is land, you will see that the values will go out. Okay?
One last bit of the same question.
On the same question, that's it, because I'm going to start now.
Sorry, just the last bit. If I look at the communities, for example, I see like there is 2 or 3 dominant communities that sold the most of the transactions. What's gonna be my approach towards that? How I like change the unit focus that I'm doing and all that?
Okay, so you're saying that I have this client, but I want to put his focus on some other community. That's what you're saying? Or you want him to buy in that community?
Like before I start my day, you said like in the morning we
Yeah.
look at it. Before I start my day, I noticed like in JVC we sold the most number with the lowest value. We sold a Creed, a lot of units and Dubai Hills. So I have these 3 dominant communities.
Secondary? Ready homes? Off plan, okay.
So
Oh.
what am I gonna do? Like
Use third party, very simple, third party. If you believe that these areas are doing well, firstly know the numbers and ask the client, how familiar are you with the current trends in real estate in Dubai? They don't have the answer to that, okay? How familiar are you with the current trends in real estate? Then start with the did you know. Anything you say after a did you know is considered as fact, because did you know is unconscious pattern, right? Then you'll say, did you know out of the top 5 communities last year in Dubai, these 3 communities were always there month on month. Okay, and then you will turn around and say, that's the reason why so many investors, this is third party, that's the reason why so many investors like you, connect the third party to him. When I present myself and tell them, look, JVC is an amazing opportunity. I am a sales guy. Of course, I'm going to say it's an amazing opportunity. So to build the trust and to reduce the objection, anytime you present any community, always use third party. The reason why so many investors, people like you, are looking at Emaar Beachfront is 1, 2, and 3. It's more credible because third party is someone he trusts. People like him. It's still your answer. But give it as third party. Third party will fly it better. But know your numbers and be confident, and you can show it, because it's a fact that these communities have been doing really well last year. So great, we know the community is doing well, numbers are there to support it. Use a third party approach and you will have people actually asking you more about it. Okay? Now, let's understand the property cycle. I'd like you guys to draw it out, but please, before you try and show this to any client, before you show this, go through it yourself, okay? Internalize it, screenshot it, keep it on your phone. You're going to meet a client 5 minutes early. Look at it so you understand where we are. Now let's look at, I will show you 2 cycles. The traditional property cycle that runs around the world, including where Dubai is right now, and the future cycles for Dubai, because Dubai has created an absolutely unbelievable future approach. You need to know this because we are not investing in the past, we are investing in the future. So people have to know how the market will perform. Now, the property cycle is always a 7-year cycle as of now in the market. We will get into 10-year cycles soon. Now, for us, this property cycle that we are in was supposed to start in 2019 end, because the expo was going to come in 2020. COVID destroyed that for 1 year for Dubai. COVID destroyed for the world 2 years, with Dubai only 1 year. So for us, the property market, actually this cycle started in 2020. If you see from August 2020 onwards, a lot of new launches started coming out. You had Damak Lagoons being announced, you had Emaar coming out with launches, and you had Tilal Al Gaf coming out. So we started to have from Q4 or Q3, Q4 of 2020, launches started happening. Now, as more and more opportunities came out, Dubai got the benefit because we opened first in the world for business. So people really didn't have a choice. They were all funneled into Dubai. They couldn't go anywhere else in the world. So when everybody started to come into Dubai, that created an even better perception for us in the market, that the market is really, really hot. And that's why you saw all the launches starting to happen. The expo brought more people into Dubai. So now we are here, okay? We are in 23 beginning. We still have an expectation till the end of next year for prices to go up. We know that from the developers. Go and talk to them, they will tell you this. The Knight Frank report is telling us this year 13.5% increase in Dubai. So we have the international reports, we have the developer intelligence, we have the daily performance, all confirming the same thing. Okay, so now this is where we are. Now we have 3 types of buyers in the market. You got the opportunity investor, you got the security investor, and you have the home owner. We have to see how these 3 people buy and at what time they start to consider investment in property. Now the opportunity investor comes right here at the beginning. That is why you're finding when there's a launch happening, 90% of the units are sold even before the launch. These are guys who are taking risk. I don't want to even wait for the launch. I'm not interested in seeing a presentation. You know the price, we know the anticipated returns, book 7 units for me. They're taking risk and they're getting the best opportunities, okay? Or we are telling the guy, come for the launch, but if you can pay 35% down payment, I'll get you a unit. They're ready to pay a lot more. They'll take the risk, okay? And they will get the units. So they come in here. Now, as the market starts to grow, you see more movement, more launches, more buys happening in the market. So gradually, you start to go up, and somewhere here, at this point, 23 to 24, you will see security investors will start coming in. Why? We know that all these launches that happened in end of 2021, early 22, handovers are when? End of 24, 25, 26. That's going to happen. Developers can delay it by about a year, the general market, okay? So we know from 25, handovers are going to start happening. So the security investors come here. because I can see 80% construction complete. I can probably shift my risk, pay 50%, get a mortgage point. Because after 1 year, he sees prices are slowing down. He sees inventory coming out, prices are dropping in the market. Okay, when it starts dropping in the market, he panics again. When he bought here, he bought because everybody was buying. Monkey see, monkey do. The herd mentality. But now, once it hits here, a few guys will panic again. Prices are dropping, so they will put 100,000 less. Below the market, they'll put their unit out. When they see the units coming in the market, let me lose 100,000, 150, but let me get out. That creates a panic sell in the market, because the perception is that there is too many units in the market, and then the downward trend starts from here. This is his second mistake. You bought when it was very high, without realizing what's going to happen in the market within 1 year. Now you sell when the market is starting to go down, you don't hold. And as a result, when you start selling, all the units start dropping in price. You should not sell. What you should do is hold the unit here. It's handover. Or you're buying a ready unit. Rent it out. You will get lesser return. But even if you're getting 3% a year, take the 3% instead of losing 250,000. Get the rental yield for the next few years, because what will happen is these units will all get picked up over the next 3 to 4 years. From 28, when the next trend starts, it will go up again, and at this point, if you want, sell again. So when you buy real estate, and especially security investors are long term, you have to think of a performance over 7 to 10 years. So I bought it now, within a year it will be handed over, 3 years will go down price, make rental yields even if it is less, wait for another 3 to 4 years, the cycle will turn and go up. At that point you sell your unit. Don't lose the money. This is the challenge. Now let's see what happens to the opportunity investor. He bought here, market is starting to turn, he doesn't care, because he will always be sitting at this price point for his investment. So even when the markets go down, he never loses. These are the risk takers. They're the smart guys. I come in early. I'll come to you later. Let me finish this, okay? So for me, I made my money. Either I'll sell it here, or I'll sell it here when the handovers come into the market, because developers are pricing it high, mortgage is making it expensive. I've got a unit here. I'll sell it here at 400,000 lesser. I will beat the developer and everybody else on price. And I will still make more money because I paid 1.8 here. They're all selling at 3.6. I'll put it in the market at 3.2. And I'm on my 1.8. I'm going to make a lot of money. So that is how the smart investors work. So all of that will create this challenge in the market. They never lose, the opportunity investors. Okay? The third type of buyer, the homeowner, comes here also. When the prices are much, much higher because they want to get a mortgage or they want to buy something ready to move in. Now they don't lose also. They know they're going to pay high, but when they're buying for what is called the experience ROI. Okay, the handover is going to happen here. I also want the value of my home to stay high. I don't want it to go down, but I know the market is turning. The prices will go down, but I'm living in the community. My kids are enjoying the weekend activities, so I am getting an experience ROI anyway. Within the next few years, the price will come back. I don't lose. The only guy who loses is this guy, the security investor, because they're bought very high and they start selling it lower than the market. That's how they lose. So you need to understand the property cycle and where you are in the cycle when you approach people. Now a Regis, St. Regis that just launched, is somewhere, we launched here, right, St. Regis. But St. Regis is going to go through his own cycle. So even when the prices have gone up now, when there's a new launch, it is at the lowest entry point for that project. So anybody who buys into that is going to make money because the prices will only go up from there. Where people get, how they relate it is, they look at what got launched 2 years ago and they'll say, well, the prices are too high. Well, that was exactly why you had to invest at that point in time. But when you have a St. Regis launching now, you don't compare St. Regis to anything else. It has just launched. It will come at its lowest possible price point and it will only go up from here. So understanding the cycle becomes important. Now, this is the typical property cycle. However, Dubai is going to change the cycle. So I'm going to draw two more diagrams here, all right? Now, over the years, 30 years or 25 years we've been in property, you'll see cycles going like this. This is globally. So there will be an average, a median. Generally the average will go like this. So it will go up for some time, then it will drop, go up, come down, and that's how the market runs. The new Dubai market is going to be different, okay? That's your base. Now we are planning to do this. So this will become our median. There is no intent to let it drop to what it was before and then start fresh again. If you see all the reports, they will tell you compared to 2014 or compared to 2008, prices have gone back. Why? Because they are basing it on this cycle. We are comparing to the previous cycle to the previous cycle. You will not be able to do that anymore in Dubai. The government is creating all the initiatives to make sure that the cycles don't drop so much. They will drop a little bit, but we will now start the new turn from here. How can you do that? And this you should explain to clients because they're investing in the future. What is happening here? There's a lot of inventory coming out in the market, correct? How can I sell this faster? What do I need for that? I need more people, right? I need more people to want to come to Dubai or want to believe in Dubai. So you look at, sorry? One more war. I don't know how much Sheikh Mohammed will influence that around the world. But look at the strategies, right? 2 years ago, we announced a 10-year visa. The 10-year visa was announced to attract more and more people to come and buy. It didn't change the quality of the property. It didn't change the type of the communities. It just opened another door to make people decide, let me now do it in Dubai because I can get a 10-year visa. Last year, what did we announce? You don't even need 10 million, just 2 million. Put 2 million in, and even in off-plan, you can get the 10-year visa. So now, for 2 million, you can get a 10-year visa, renewable as long as you're in the owner of the property. And that made more and more people get interested. So more and more people will start coming. Last year alone, we had 347,000 applications for the 10-year visa. 10% of the population of Dubai. Just last year alone. And these are not the population. These are guys sitting in Russia, India, Egypt, wherever it is. Put the money in property, 2 million, get a 10-year security for me to go and stay anytime I want in that country. So what's happening? We are launching initiatives which will take 3 to 4 years to create maximum impact. By the time the world understands the 10-year visa and only 2 million, you're going to be in this part here. Because we announced it in 2022, it takes 2 to 3 years. So by the time you're in 2025, 26, the whole world is understanding I can get 10 years renewable and they will come to Dubai. We've already seen that increase happening. District 2020 has been announced, right? You know District 2020? Today, you can do a startup company in District 2020 and for the first 2 years, no licensing or registration fees. Come, we give you the license, start your business, make your money. After 2 years, we'll start charging you registration fees. So people are starting to come in.
I would love to know your opinion about they increased the company this tax, VAT. I think 9%.
That is not VAT, that is the corporate tax. We'll talk about that later. Okay, let's just finish this. See what the government is doing. They have learned from 2 cycles that there will be the down. So stop the down by getting more and more people to come in so those units get picked up faster. Then you can go up. So now we have new companies coming out. Last year we had 97,000 new trade licenses issued in Dubai. 97,000. Of that, around 45% were commercial licenses. This is our what we are interested in. Professional licenses don't matter. A doctor registering himself, a lawyer registering himself, that doesn't matter. When they open a practice or a clinic, they'll take a commercial license. So commercial licenses were about 46,000 licenses last year alone. The average company size in Dubai is between 12 to 14. Even if you take 10 people in a company, you're talking 500,000 people coming in the next 2 years. They will need to stay. They will need to rent. Some of them will want to buy, because today people are getting smarter. They prefer buying rather than renting. Sheikh Mohammed announced it last year. If you can show 15,000 coming in every month, you don't even need to leave the country. You can be 80 years old. So these people don't want to rent at that point in their life. They will buy the homes. So all of these, I'll come to you, okay? I haven't forgotten you. All these initiatives have been created to bring a new flood of people. When the new flood comes, this will happen. When the turn takes place, you will have higher absorption. Then the new demand starts at a higher rate, not down here. And this will keep happening. New initiatives will keep getting announced. Anyone heard about Dubai Global? It was announced in February last year.
2040?
No, Dubai Global. Dubai Global is Sheikh Hamdan's initiative to get the world to come to Dubai. And we understood this value during the expo. For 6 months during the expo, we had 19 million people who came to Dubai. They began to understand Dubai, and many of them invested in property. Now what we are doing, this is the only city in the world that is doing it. We have identified 52 countries, and Sheikh Hamdan is setting up trade centers in these 52 countries. So they will go into the capital cities, they will talk to the business communities, they will talk to the high net worth communities, they will host events, come and live in Dubai, invest in Dubai, set up companies, tax benefits. So we are not waiting for people to come to Dubai to discover Dubai. We are going to the best countries in the world and introducing Dubai to them and saying, boss, come to Dubai. So we'll have the events, have it with business community. They will target their IT companies. Then they will target the banking sectors. They'll go and target manufacturing companies. And they'll have big events for them and tell them why you should be in Dubai. This is the only city in the world that is reaching out to the world and saying, come to us. All of that is going to start to give us the churn, the volume, in 3 to 4 years' time. This is the new model for real estate in Dubai. When you have these, you can share it. Google it, download all these reports, newspaper articles, download Dubai Global. You can share this with them and say, this is the future. This is what you're investing in. Because the performance of the city impacts the performance of your property, right? What was your question?
I have a lot now. So now when a client comes and he says the prices will drop, this is what we show him.
Yes.
But this is who did this statistic? Like
Which statistic? These?
yeah.
This? It has all been
This
announced.
one,
Yeah.
It has been like this, but the one below, no, the last, yes.
Yeah. Who did this statistic you're saying, right? This is done by the government of Dubai. That is the reason why, based on this, we now know that we will have a shorter downturn, not the normal cycle. Once the downturn is absorbed, naturally the upturn starts.
So it might go down, but
It will go down. It has to go down, but much lesser than before, because the only way you can populate it is through creating demand. That means I need people to come. So the initiatives being done by Dubai today is to get the people to come. When that happens, you will have a slower downturn. The downturn has to happen, but it will not happen like before. It won't be 3 years, it will probably be a year and a half, or maybe 2 years. We'll still drop it by 35%, the downturn, okay? So understand the property cycles. If you get this in, you will be able to present it differently to your clients, okay? Let's take a 7-minute stretch, come back, and get into your lead management. Sorry, the Camrys, not Camrys Toyota, the Mitsubishis, the inflated numbers because one, you're paying much higher for the property. On top of that, there is an add-on value of the interest of the mortgage. Therefore, the price is much higher. So the gap can show. And a lot of that which is shown in mortgage is land. Land will always be on a mortgage, and it will therefore have a much higher inflated value. So you just have to be careful in understanding how you interpret these. Cash to mortgage ratio is good to look at, but you operate on a trend over 3 to 6 months. Don't look at any particular day, because a particular day is not a reflection of that day. It could be 3 to 6 weeks before. These are just the units that got registered yesterday. For example, the Regis units that got sold, none of them have been registered as yet. They will show only after 3 months or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, because people have just paid the down payment. SPAs have not been generated, signatures not taken, the complete down payment has not been made yet. So those units that were sold is just what the developer has announced as a sale, and it's on social media. They are not registered transactions. What we see every day on the land department reports is not sales, it is registered transactions. They use two terms, sales and mortgage. Sales is not physical sales, it is cash transactions. Mortgage is not considered by land department as a sale, because the property is owned by the bank, not by you.
So when it will consider as a sale?
The mortgage, it is registered already, so in terms of a transaction happening, it has already happened, but the owner is the bank, not you. Once you finish your mortgage, they will transfer that to you. So sale, when you see in the numbers, does not mean sale on that day. It means the cash transactions of the last 3 to 6 weeks that got registered on that day. That shows us sales. Okay? Mortgages are the transactions through the bank over the last 3 to 6 weeks showing. So don't get misled by that word sales. You done the RERA training, any of you? Because they actually explain this concept. Okay? So that is not sale the way we understand sale. When a developer tells you we sold this much, that is not what is reflected there. What you see there is registered transactions. That is a more accurate number, because many of the sold transactions, physical selling, can cancel. So the land department says we will not share this information with the world saying that was sold, because it can cancel. We will only share that which is registered, for which the 4% has been paid and we have issued the certificate. That is the information that comes out.
So the amount of sale is way higher.
Sorry?
The amount of sale is
The amount of sale is way higher, but remember, on one day I'm showing transactions of maybe 20 days, 30 days which got registered. So that is why be very careful. When you're talking to people, don't say yesterday Dubai sold. You say the registered transactions yesterday in Dubai was this much. Okay? Now, let's get back to what we were doing last week. We just started understanding the selling process we need to do. We're now into lead management. I want to start lead management with you today. These handouts were given to you last week. And then if we have time, I start on the call with you today. If not, we'll start the call process next week. Next week we will be back on Wednesday, not Thursday. Okay? So this was only now because I just came back from my travel last night. Okay, so to understand opportunity, the first thing I would like to touch on is our own attitude. It's very important. W. Clement Stone, who used to be the richest man in the US when he was alive, he said sales is dependent on the attitude of the salesperson, not the attitude of the prospect. Your prospect can come with many different things in his mind. He can be negative. He's heard things from people. He lost in the market before. He's just in a bad mood when you contacted him. He lost some big contract. We don't know. Somebody died in his family. We have no idea what's going on in their head. So they can carry any attitude and come at you. And at that, maybe he just lost a big contract and now your phone call is coming. He is going to bite your head off. But 1 week later, 10 days later, he's in a different headspace. So my attitude is very important when I have to be in a sales engagement. Also remember, how many of you trust salespeople? So that is also working against you. So I can only have the right attitude. I need to understand that because of the nature of the job, and also because of the nature of the Dubai market, you know, no one trusts brokers in Dubai. So with all of that, it is normal for a person to not want to trust me and not want to deal with me. My professionalism comes in what I say on the call to change how he thinks about me. So my attitude is very important for deals to happen in Dubai. Okay? Anything else can be taught. Attitude cannot be taught. You bring it with you when you come every day into the business. So attitude is something you got to work on yourself. There is money in the market. There is a lot of money that can be made. But it will only be made by people who have the right attitude. You know Hussein Sajwani, when he entered the market, he came in as a catering manager from Abu Dhabi. At that time, nobody respected him in the market. Emaars, Nakils, Dubai Properties, I'm talking 2002, 2003. These were the giants. Everybody was rushing to those sales centers. Nobody gave any respect to this Iranian guy who was a catering contract manager from Abu Dhabi. And when he came into Dubai and he launched his first tower, which was Marina Terrace, nobody even wanted to sell him. Did you know that brokers did not want to touch his buildings? Not a single broker wanted to sell them. Because who the hell are you? Emaar is easy. I just go to the airport, there's a guy getting off the plane, I become a taxi driver. Take me to Emaar. I'll take you. I didn't need to sell. Nobody wanted to sell Damac. Today they're one of the biggest. And Hussein always says, he says, my only fear today is that someone will come into the market who is small. We will not respect him enough. We will ignore him and the guy will become king. That's the same with all of us as brokers as well. Okay, if my attitude is correct, then I will make the money that I need to. But make your money by making sure your clients are happy and they get their ROIs. If they're homeowners, the experience is the ROI. If they're investors, it's the returns. Help people to make money, you will automatically make money. This is a fact. It doesn't have to be real estate, any business of selling. Okay. The second thing is this. Learn to respect your leads before they will respect you. It's as simple as that. Okay, if you don't respect a lead, you will not have the right approach to I don't respect the lead. Leads are rubbish. If I'm thinking that the leads are rubbish, how much of my actual commitment, passion and effort will go into making the call? Zero. So when I make the call just because I have to do it, I have KPI 100 calls a day. When I make it, people can sense it. They know they're talking to a person who doesn't even believe in them, and the call just happens. And you will be actually surprised at how many of those people are buying property in Dubai. So change your own attitude. Make a friend. Maximum, that's all you got to do. Make a friend with someone through the conversation, stay connected, keep educating them week on week, wait for 2-3 months and they will start talking to you differently. You have to know how to manage leads. Today that's what I will cover with you. Okay? So let's look a little bit at the opportunity itself. We have to understand, this is all in the handouts from last time. You got 5 opportunities. When a lead comes to you, inbound lead, or when you get a database and you're working, that becomes an outbound lead. When a lead is given to you, there is certain criteria on which you decide a lead. A database is just not a lead. If it's a database of owners within a community, yes, they are leads. Because for us, a lead is someone who is identified based on their need, based on their capabilities or capacity, and there is a certain urgency to buy. May not be now. It could be within this month, or I'm considering something soon. So this is the criteria to call something a lead. A number and a name on an Excel sheet is not a lead. That's just data. For them to be leads, this is very important. Okay? Leads are of 2 kinds of leads. You will get the inbound leads, which are easier for you to contact. At least they'll pick up your phone. What you do after that matters. The outbound lead is where you have more aggression and resistance, which will come to you. So your entry into the calls will have to change. Okay? You cannot use the normal introduction that brokers are using, because their mind immediately goes into resistance mode, because they're recognizing this is a broker. Before you 8 guys called me today. Yeah, last week itself I had about 30 calls. I know how to bump you guys off. You know one of the fastest ways to bump off brokers today? I'm going to complain to Rira. What is your registration number as a broker? Don't you know it's illegal? I'm going to call Rira. Boom, disconnect. It's the fastest way today to bump off a broker. Check if you ever have time, when you go to Rira, or you do it yourself, go to the Rira website, try and fill in the form complaining about a broker. It is not for a person to go in there. They ask you things, you have to upload proof of your ownership documents of the unit. Otherwise, anyone can go and complain. So I have to give my own ID. I have to give my documents. I have to give my unit details. And then I have to give the contact details of the broker, the name and agency. Most millionaires don't have the time to sit and fill all of that and upload documents. All right. So if someone has done all of that, you probably deserve the fine. You've been that bad that the guy has gone through all of that, given his passport copy, given his Emirates ID, given his I don't know, SPA, and given his registration certificate. He's put all that information there. You must have been really, really bad. Then you deserve the fine.
Or really unlucky to call after that will be the next one.
I'm going to stay with the first one. Okay, really, really bad. All right, so a lead is good as long as it is based on the criteria. Okay, so you got inbound and outbound. Now the lead, when you start connecting with them, they convert into prospects. Now a prospect is someone who's been identified on the same criteria. I had the lead, I will verify that in my phone call with them just to be sure I'm talking to the right kind of person. There is money in this pot. I just want to do that. But my prospects will again come into two categories. I will have the active prospects, the ones who are really considering buying now. Now doesn't mean today or tomorrow. Within the next 2 weeks or so, they should, or within a month, they're ready to make a decision. So that is my active prospect. My power prospects are those who will, I've got the money. Yes, I know it's a good opportunity, but let me wait for some time. I don't feel the urgency right now. Both of them are good to work with, all right? There is a third category, we call them the tire kickers. They waste your time, all right? They'll tell you, send me information, send me on this, send me this one, send me this one. Or let's go and view that apartment. Can I see another apartment? If you're going to be a travel agent, driving all over the city, showing them so many homes, you're wasting your time. But people who have been qualified according to the criteria, there is a way you will manage them even in the show of the apartment villa community, so that you know you're working with someone who's serious at that point in time. Either they are active or they are power at that time. This is very important. Otherwise, you'll do a lot of shows, but you will not close any deals. You have a market that's fast. Also remember, most of the clients that you're working with will never work with one broker. They will be working with at least 2 or 3 brokers. I don't feel the need to tell you that. It's my money, I can decide. Especially the inbound leads, especially inbound leads. Why? If it's an outbound lead, I'm calling inbound leads means they're showing some interest. So they've been doing some search online, looking at a certain community, and they have found something and they connected with you. Likewise, they could have found 2, 3 others and they've connected with them also, but I don't need to tell you. So you will always know that the others are going to be in the game. So as long as you are professional, very open, transparent, know your numbers, know how to pitch, qualify, all of that, you will have an edge on the other brokers. Don't try to play the others down, and don't try to show that what you are offering is better. It will never work. Today we know when one sales guy is putting down another sales guy, he's only thinking about himself. Don't do that. Elevate yourself to a level where when you talk about real estate, people understand why they should be working with you. As long as you can do that, they will buy from you. Okay, so I need my lead to become a prospect. Now once they become the prospect and I'm connecting with them, it can have 2 outcomes. Either they will not buy from me, but they become what we call potentials. So a potential is someone whom I qualified, I started my engagement with them, but for whatever reason it did not get to a closure. But with these people also, I've got some benefits from them. There's future buying opportunity from these guys. They're good for referral lead generation. You can generate leads even from people who did not buy. You don't have to only generate leads from people who bought. People can decide not to buy for many different reasons. But if they believe that it was a good opportunity, there is a good return potential, they can introduce you to a couple of people. That will all depend on your professionalism in the approach. So they become lead generation as well. And third, very important, they're very reliable market information for you. Market trends, perceptions, how are buyers talking? Just like we network with each other in the market, all the millionaires network with each other. They're sharing information with each other. Whether real or perception doesn't matter. When they talk among themselves, they believe themselves. So I can get some good information from a potential. So a person who does not buy today gives me still a lot of opportunity for the future and shares some real market intelligence. If you look back to most of the clients that you are dealing with, 80% of the concerns or the objections they are raising are the same. It doesn't matter who the person is. So if that is the case, I should know the answers by now. You should be in a position where if a client raises that question, in your mind it is you don't want to go there. Because if you ask me that question, I'm closing you out on this question. By now we should have the answers to all these questions, right? Okay, because 80% will be the same. So find the answer first, then find the best way to use the answer. It's the technique as well as the content in the answer, okay? Now, so that is one, what will happen, potential. The other is the person who actually buys. They convert into what we call a client. Now the relationship has started in terms of they have actually committed and invested with you. From them again, you got opportunities. They can buy again in the future. They can also generate good referrals or leads for you. And there is a brand credibility given to you. You are now talking to people whom they know who have actually bought from you. So I am a person that people are actually investing, listening to me. Your credibility goes up. How many of you are doing secondary sales? Anyone here? 1, 2. Okay, so it's mostly primary. Secondary sales, go for listings. Go for as many listings as you get. Don't worry about the buyer leads. Buyer leads will come. Get as many listings as you can. Why? If I have 2 brokers I'm working with and one guy has got 4 listings and another guy has got 27 listings, who will I go with? The one with more. Why? Not really more options. That is there, but the market is telling me we believe in this guy to list our home with him. Because the volume of landlords working with that person is the credibility. So it becomes a strong credibility statement. So go for as many listings as you can get because it's a huge credibility statement for you. Okay? So now, from the 5th category that you have is your referrals. So these are your 5 working groups that you'll have. Referrals are essentially someone where you got it from an existing client or a potential. One of them could have given it to you, but your effort ROI is the highest. My effort, the number of calls I'll have to make to this person, the number of meetings will drop. So my ROI is higher on my effort with the referrals, always. And again, the reason for that is there is a social familiarity. I have an entry point into the conversation. And there is basically what we call the willingness to engage. Okay, if Tariq bought from you, then all right, I'm willing to have a conversation because I know Tariq well. So even if I'm not considering right now, I'll give you the opportunity, right? And your own credibility is there. I just sold to Tariq. Tariq and me both felt that this might be something you would be interested in, and that's how you can come into the conversation. So you need to know on a daily basis the health of your pipeline. So when I come into the office, I should know, okay, I have got 30 people today who are in lead status with me. I've just got the information or I'm planning to contact them. There has been 0 previous relationship. So today in my pipeline, I got 30 of these. I should know I might be having 15 who are in a prospect stage. That means I'm in a second contact, first property viewing, I'm in that stage with them. I should know how many of them did not convert because I have to leverage them differently, my potentials. How many are referrals? So every day the health of my pipeline becomes important for me to understand. Okay? Your approach will change based on which area the client is sitting in right now. I can't have the same approach to all of them. Okay. Now, in terms of lead management, few things for you to understand. I think the first one is very easy. We all agree with this. The larger your network, the larger your net worth. Agree? Disagree? Right? So the bigger my network. Now I would like to just add a word in there. The larger your qualified network, the larger your net worth. Just calling numbers doesn't make sense. I'll get you a yellow pages and you can sit for the next 1 year and keep calling. So the larger your qualified network, the larger your net worth. This is important. That is why to be a lead, you should have the capability, a certain amount of urgency and a need for that kind of product. Only then do you become a lead in my business. Okay? So the larger your qualified network, the larger is going to be your net worth. The health of your pipeline, very, very important. I have to see more prospects and more potentials in my network to know I'm getting somewhere with it, okay? Very, very important to create your prospects and your potentials. If I've got conversions, great. Even if I don't have it, even my potentials can give me referrals, which is the best category to work with. The third thing very important is this. Lead management focuses on two things: your attitude and your approach to handling the leads. These are the two things: your own attitude and your approach to managing it. So to summarize just a few things, I want to show you a lead management plan. Okay? So the first thing is, you got to believe in the lead generation strategy. And this is something where leadership has to take responsibility. They're not here. Only your managers are here. I'm going to say it anyway. Right? I'm going to say it anyway. You all can relay the message back. He's listening from there. All right. Now, the lead generation strategy. Every company, when they decide, we are going to do road shows to these countries, example, or we are going to put up a stand in this hotel or this community, there is a rationale or a thinking behind it. We don't wake up and just, throw some cards on the table and pick one. So there will be a reason behind it. Why are we listing on these kind of portals when there are so many portals available? The role of leadership and management, sales managers, is to be able to explain to you why at REM we are choosing these portals or these places to keep our stands and generate the money. Why are we doing road shows to these particular countries? That's the thinking behind it, because for us to believe that we will get good leads from any particular approach, I should know why we selected the approach in the first place. There is no question about that. I'm 100% on your side for this one. Okay, so it is important that leadership should explain at REM we do 1, 2 and 3 because we believe this is what we will get. Some examples, what happened? The last time we went to Monaco on a road show, we were able to generate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As a result of that, this is what happened. That's why we are going to focus on Monaco once every quarter. That rationale is important. Then you will believe in the lead that is coming out from there. Okay? The second thing that is important is you have to respect your leads. You really have to respect your leads. It doesn't matter who the person is. Every one of them can. I had, where was this? Last week. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Elysian Brokers. I was at Elysian and one of the brokers said, this guy is looking for a job. I said, well, hang on a second. If you look at any broker website, there is a careers tab. Okay, contact us to work with us, or there's a careers tab. They're all on Instagram. So you're telling me a sales guy did not go to the careers tab, but he went to look at one of the properties that was listed. Then he gave his information so that a sales guy will call him up, not HR. And he's going to ask that sales guy, boss, do you have a job in your company for me? You're saying that's what people are doing? Just doesn't make any sense to me. That's an excuse. You probably heard it from some of the other brokers, or you might have been making the excuse yourself. Stop all that. You need to respect the leads. Even if a guy has done that, I will tell him, okay, who am I telling? Ahmed? Ahmed, here's what I'm going to do for you, right? Come, let's have a coffee together. Let's come up with a plan. I want you to get me 5 good leads this week. Once you can bring me 5 leads, I will walk into the office of the owner and I will fight for you. Change your approach. If this guy is worth anything, and even if he has come, because I doubt you will get guys like this, but if he's come, say, oh, fine, generate 5 leads. Give me the reason to go and knock on a Khaldun door and say, boss, get this guy. He just got me 3 leads this week. Change your attitude and your approach towards your leads. Okay, respect them. Third, manage the pipeline effectively. Remember, when a lead comes in contact with you, they are not going to jump onto a plane or into a car and come and give you 3 hours. They are just telling you, I'm interested right now, tell me more about this. They are at that point in the process. That's a great starting point. But if you're going to try and convert that into agreeing for a meeting, it's not easy. Because I'm curious right now, I want information. So At this stage, when I'm in curiosity, it is easier for me to say, send me WhatsApp, send me an email, I'll come back to you, because I'm just curious. So what I have to do is move them from curiosity into serious intent. That I do in the phone call. Thank you for your interest shown in Tilal Algaf. My name is X, and I'm here to have this conversation just so that we understand how Tilal Algaf works for you. Start your process with them. In the process, I will create serious intent. Because when people have got serious intent, okay, I'm willing to come and meet with you. People will agree to a meeting based on serious intent, not on curiosity. Okay? When you get the lead, they are in a mental state of curiosity. Get them to serious intent. You can do that in one call itself, same call. Then your probability of the meeting will go up. Okay? So leads will essentially have to be farmed. Your leads cannot just convert like that because they're working with others. I'll come to you. They're working with others. They're hearing opinions in the market. I'm just curious right now. I still don't trust you enough. There's so much to work against me. As a farmer, when he's got seeds with him, he believes that the seed, he believes that that seed has the potential to become that tree. He believes first. You have to believe in your leads, okay? When he puts it into the ground, he doesn't leave the lead there, the seed, and come back and look for a tree. He takes care of it. You have to fertilize it. You got to water it, remove the weeds, all of that. Give the conditions for optimal growth, and then the lead starts to grow. You can't put the seed and go back tomorrow and say, where are my apples? It doesn't work that way. The second thing is you can't put the seed in there and not bother about it. Tomorrow they are listening to opinions in the market. There are things that, like weeds that will come to destroy your lead. You have to nurture your leads and grow them. Once you grow them, they will convert. And you should be constantly filling your pipeline. So leads who are coming and meeting with me today, I've been probably working on them and talking to them for the last 2 to 3 weeks. And every day I need to be having at least 20 to 30 new leads in my pipeline, new qualified leads. So every day as I'm working, I'm going to reach a point where after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there's always new opportunities entering my pipeline. But the ones I was speaking 2 3 weeks ago are all in the stage of agreeing to come. So my pipeline health becomes very important. My pipeline just saying I have 100 leads today means nothing. The health of the pipeline tells me how close I am to the conversion. Okay, that becomes important for us. So fourth thing, have your strategy. You need to have a lead management or a lead approach strategy. I will give you one strategy. It's the one I use. I'll give it to you. It works. Try it for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. I'm coming back every week. Tell me it didn't work. Okay? You can try it and tell me. I love being challenged. Now, another thing I'd like you to focus on as a concept. I might have mentioned it to the managers when we did a session. It's called a sales graveyard. Have you heard of a sales graveyard? No? All of you have a graveyard.
I ignored the leads.
All of you have a graveyard. Let me ask you this. Some of you have got leads that you ignored. Leads that we misjudged. I thought this guy will not buy. Leads that we have mismanaged. Leads that we have not respected enough. Leads that we didn't take care of, unfarmed. We all have it. Then you have a graveyard. You have a graveyard. They are in there. Here's my challenge. How many of you are here for more than 6 months? New guys, your graveyard is still empty. Relatively. Okay? How many are here more than 6 months? It's okay. You can put your hands up, guys. No problem. Okay. How many are here more than 3 months? The same hands are going up. There's nobody else after that? Okay. Here's what I want you to do. There are some leads whom you spoke with 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and they didn't buy for whatever reason. They were not convinced. They raised questions. You could not show them why it was a good opportunity. After some time, after you have tried a few times, you just give up on those leads. Happened? Yes. They're in the graveyard. But remember how they came in first. They had some interest. You've got the leads with you already. Before I call Abdullah today, check that kind of a townhouse today. What has been the increase in the price? It would have gone up by at least 14 to 18% in Damak Lagoons, that's the going increase right now in 6 months, okay? So if it was a 2 million unit, that 2 million unit now is 2.4, 2.5. That's a 500,000 increase in the last 6 months. Call up Abdullah today. He'll take your phone, all right, because you've been speaking before. Introduce yourself and just simply tell me, by the way, remember 6 months ago we were talking about Santorini, anyone, Venice, whatever it may be. The reason I called you today is I was going through the performance of that community and I noticed that in just 6 months, those units are now worth 500,000 more. And I did remember we had spoken about it. So the reason I'm calling you is to tell you, had we made that investment, you would have already made 500,000 in just 6 months. Then say, now the reason I'm actually calling you today is a similar opportunity just showed up. When can we meet? You have a credible entry point into the conversation. I could not prove to him 6 months ago that it was going to do well. I now have the numbers to show it actually did well. This guy is not going to ask you, where did you get my number? Neither is he going to threaten you with RERA. He can't. We already have been speaking to each other. But you have people sitting in your pipeline worth a lot of money, but we don't want to work with them. We only want to have new leads. You know what is going to be the fate of your new lead? You won't like the answer. They are going to the graveyard. How do I know that? Because your current pattern of working with a lead has shown me that most of them are going into a graveyard. Why will that change with any new lead? If you're going to be doing the same thing that you've been doing with the other leads, they're going to end up in the same place. Agree, disagree? I know it's choking, but it's okay to say agree. Because it is. You're going to do the same thing you did for the last 3 to 6 months. You'll get the same outcome. That's what Einstein said, right? If you only do the same things over and over again, you'll only get the same results over and over again. That's the definition of madness. You want a different result from your lead? Change how you operate. Go back to your graveyard. Connect with them again. You'll be shocked how they'll start talking to you because now I have the evidence. When that happens, your own confidence grows. You attack your new leads differently. The lead has not changed. You have changed. When is the strongest time to call a lead? The best time? When? Directly? Okay, that is one. Now, yes, you have to connect with them immediately after you receive the lead, okay? Timing of the country. Okay. After lunch. The best time to contact any lead, especially your most difficult ones, is right after you closed your deal. Okay, you close a deal, you can go out and celebrate with your friends, get back to your desk, open up your Excel sheet or your CRM, take out the 20 guys who refuse to come and meet with you, call them now. You are a different person right now. You feel different, your energy is different, you've got evidence with which you will talk. But call them now. Don't waste that time and go for a 3-day holiday and sit on the beach. Sorry? If you're not closing the deal, even if you got a meeting conversion from one person, call the other 5 guys who refused for the meeting. Change your approach. You are a different person right after that. People will catch your energy and your personality. Your personality is different after you close the deal or you just converted and got a meeting. Right after that, you call these guys up. They will see a different person. Plus, the other thing is, the same guy whom I spoke to maybe 3 weeks ago is in a different headspace today. He might just naturally be more open to me. So don't give up on any of your leads. Your leads can become future lead generation or they will actually give you the meetings. Okay? So you've got to basically manage your sales graveyard. You can pull back existing people. You already have relationship. They're already pre-qualified, no threat of RERA. They will pick up your phone. You now have evidence with which you can call them. Why would you not talk to these guys? But you prefer talking to a new guy who can threaten you with RERA. See how silly this is, okay? You want to talk to a new guy. He can threaten you with RERA. There's no evidence that you have for him. He's got no relationship with you, not pre-qualified. I'd rather talk to that guy than go back to the guy with whom I have all my information. Does that make sense? Okay. Right. I need to see you guys in the graveyard this week. Okay? Try it. Just pick 5 from your graveyard. Talk to them this week. 5. Just talk to them this week. Tell me next week what happened. Okay. Now your lead management approach, very quickly, just recognize you will need more than one attempt to get a lead to agree to come. Some of them are just busy, they still have doubts, they're talking to other brokers, so it's not necessary that my first contact will convert a lead for me. I might have to make more than one effort. The second thing, every time I'm making an effort, my second effort, my third approach, my fourth approach, my strategy has to change. I can't use the same approach. People get bored with that, sometimes irritated. So I'll have to change my approach, because when I approached you the first time, it did not work, or I gathered some information in that call. I will change my second approach based on that. And I'll give you a template. It's in the handouts from last week, okay? Every single attempt, every contact attempt. Now a contact is not just a phone call. A contact can be a WhatsApp. It could be a Zoom meeting. It could be an email sent out, a video that you could send. All of these contacts that I have, there must be some takeaway for the client. Help your clients to believe that you're there to give for them. Learn to give before you take. Today, what brokers are sending is information on new launches, new inventory that is being released. Every time there is a new launch, on an average, between 20 to 30 brokers will send the same PDF to an investor. Because that investor is on so many databases, right? Everybody sends him the same thing. Man, why do I need to see the same PDF 20 times? But that's what's going on. So what you want to do is change your your approach strategy. Okay? Believe in yourself, the opportunity that you got, and the process that you're going to use. 3 things. Believing in yourself is absolutely important. You got to know why you do what you do. Second, believe in the company's approach strategy and believe in your process. If you can do these 3 things, you will be you'll get much further with your leads. Okay? And always remember, it's a journey. Make it a good one for your client. Lead conversion is a journey. People will not just convert like that. Okay? So today I'm going to share with you the example of a lead management approach. We'll stop with that. Next time when we come in, I'm going to start with how these leads are converting on your calls, and we go into a call strategy. I'll give you a fun little exercise where we will evaluate a call. And you have to tell me what works in that call, why the client actually agreed. Then we will bring that into your phone calls. So the lead management, this is like a template. It is there in your handouts. I'm showing what you could do for 5 or 6 different approaches with a client. Okay, so let's say my first contact is a phone call. So I'll contact Abdullah with a phone, and there will be a script or a approach that is identified. We've identified the script for you. Okay, you will get it next week from me. The script is designed to take your client and shape him in his mind from resistance to meet to a willingness to buy. If my script and approach cannot just be a process, something has to change in the process. When I contact the person, he's on a high resistance area. I have to take him to a willingness to engage or a willingness to buy. Only there they will tell you, yes, let's meet. So my structure and process has to be that. You will agree a plan A outcome and a plan B. All right, so plan A is I want to get the meeting with this client. Let's say the client does not agree to the meeting. What will be your agreed outcome, your plan B? I have to come away with something, because my plan A or my plan B is my working link to the next contact. You need to have an outcome, plan A or plan B. Okay, that we will identify in the process with you. Now let's say in this case at the first contact, the client was okay, ended up saying send me some information, whatever. He did not agree to come. In my 3 days, and get back in touch with him. You can use a WhatsApp. Now just a point of caution, if there is a launch coming up And if you want to bring this person for the launch, you will probably have to keep your contacts a little bit more closer. If it is just a working database that you have and you're working with people, you can give them even 3 to 4 days, simply so that they don't remember your call and some healing space happens. They move into some other mental space. They might just be in a good mood when you call them the next time. Call will be different. So what you would do, send them a WhatsApp. Now you must have a takeaway. This is your structure. In my second contact, there has to be a takeaway. So what could be a takeaway? Look at the property monitor report that comes out every single month. In my first call, we were discussing JVC, or we might have been talking of a downtown area. Just simply take the property monitor report for downtown for the month of February. You can even do Jan and Feb. Send that information to the client. I know him now. I had a first phone call. I'll say, hey, Abdullah, hope things are doing well, with a voice note, okay? Listen, I was just looking at the downtown area, and according to Property Monitor, there's been some amazing transactions that happened. Since you're looking at this area, I thought this information will help you. Send it to him. Now, in the voice note, put a hook. You will say, I'll give you a call in a couple of days just to see if you got any questions about it. Don't say, I'll call you in 2 days' time. I'll call you tomorrow. They will try and avoid it. Keep it vague. You can call. I'll give you a call in a couple of days, okay? So here's what you're doing. Send him something where he believes this is value to him. He can learn about that area. He can see how the area has been performing. In his mind, this is good. This is a guy who's been following up on what was my first conversation. He's sharing information with me, okay? So please do not attach to this voice note a new launch. Then it is seen as a sales pitch. I don't like that. Let me feel that this WhatsApp was done just for me, to educate me. Okay? But use a voice note. It has to be voice note. That's what it mentions here. Okay? Use a voice note. So simply I'll say, Abdullah, hope things are going well with you. Listen, I've been studying the downtown area, and I've noticed from Property Monitor in the last 2 months, there's been over 90 transactions on an average every week in that area. I'm sending this to you since you are considering an opportunity in that area. I'll give you a call in a couple of days just to see if you have any questions about it. Send it. That is second contact. You're still alive, but you've done something that the other brokers are not doing. You have connected with him differently. Believe me, once you do this 2 to 3 times, they will start taking your calls more. It's called the psychological debt. I feel I have to do something for you. Now, maybe I invited him to come for a launch. Probably the launch at, okay, let's just say what happened, St. Regis, right? He didn't come. Go for the launch. Go for the launch anyway. It's good for you to be updated with what's happening, some sort of networking. While you're at the launch, take a little video of yourself, 10 seconds video. Make sure you're in the video, okay? Don't forward something that somebody put on Instagram and send that to the client, because that shows zero effort from your side. If you really believed in that project, you should be having more than just me whom you have spoken to for such a project, correct? So even if you don't have, go for the launch. Take a little video. Make sure you're in the video. They have to see you there. And say, remember I talked to you, I'm at the launch for Regis. Absolutely amazing. The number of investors who have been picking up this opportunity. A quick sweeping thing. 10 seconds. After a few days, send that to your client. Oh, by the way, remember we were talking about St. Regis? I was at the launch. 1 billion was sold in under an hour to investors like you. That was the reason I had discussed the opportunity. I'm sending you a video to see what happened. Now, I've got another opportunity that will work the same way. When can we meet? Change your approach. Change the material that you're giving. But every contact, there must be some takeaway, some evidence that you can put out there. A newspaper article comes out. We had TripAdvisor last week. They do an annual survey. Dubai has become the #1 tourist destination in the world. We were always up to in the #4 position before COVID. We were always at #4. You had London, Paris, and Bangkok were always in 1, 2, and 3. Now Dubai has become #1 on the planet. Send that kind of information. Say, by the way, you probably read about it, but we just got voted as the best city in the world for tourism. Now, what this means for real estate is your short stay yields will go up even more in the future. Something like that. Share information with people. Then you can ask, when would we like to meet? Fourth one, make a call. So have a structure. You can use any of these attempts in there. Now, what is important is when I get a lead, I should know my structure. Okay, so I'm going to start with Jack. I know my approach. Jack is going to get first a phone call, and there will be a script I'm going to use with him, plan A, plan B outcome. If things don't happen, I'll contact Jack after 3 days. That is already part of my strategy. 3 days later, Jack is going to get a WhatsApp from me. He's going to get a good takeaway bit of information, maybe a property monitor, and he's going to get a soft call positioning. I'll give you a call in a couple of days just to see if you have any questions. Then I know what I have to do with him as third. So I call, after Jack, I call Richard, same process. So I go through a structured approach with every single lead. And after some time, 1 week, 10 days, you will see a different movement happening in your pipeline. But you need to have a lead management template, okay, which tells you what you will do on first contact, second contact, third contact, fourth. Everything can't be a phone call, and they cannot be the same phone call. So if you look at contact 4, is a telephone call, but it is very different from the telephone call in the first one. I will use a script. Here the script changes because it's a second call. Within the script, I'm going to reference my takeaways and redirect. So I speak to Abdullah. Abdullah, how are things with you today? I can say this on second call, third call, never on first call. First call, never say, how are you? Okay? So if I say, well, how are things with you today? I say, well, things are very good. I say, by the way, did you get a chance to look at the property monitor report I sent you? So I'm referencing something I consciously did, which was my second contact. Did you get a chance to take a look? And remember, in that, I had sent a voice note saying, I'll give you a call in a couple of days. So I'm on track. And chances are 99% of them have not read it. Okay? Even if they haven't, they might tell, yeah, I just looked at it. You know they didn't. I'll say, well, that's fine. The reason I'm calling is to check if you had any questions about that report. That's how you start in your second call. And then get in from there and start talking again. So my structure will be very important. It will keep your leads engaged with you. All right? Now, this is a identified template. You can create your own. You don't have to stick with this. But what's important is you must have a clear template. So every time I'm calling the person, I know I'm working on a plan with this guy. I'm farming my seed. I'm nurturing it. I'm growing it. I'm taking it towards becoming the tree. With each lead, when I have this approach, my own attitude towards the leads will change. I'm managing the lead and his journey. Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to stop here today. All right, then. I shall see you guys next week. But next week, it's Wednesday, not Thursday. Okay? Good luck. Happy selling. Take care.